Hello guys, welcome to Basic Nursing Classes. Myself Amanpreet. In today's video, we are moving on with our topic diabetes insipidus and SIADH. In the previous video, we discussed about what basically happens in both conditions and their sign and symptoms. And in this video, we are going to talk about the management, both medical management and mainly the nursing management of both disorders. So let's move on. Firstly, if we discuss about diabetes insipidus, we all know in diabetes insipidus there is suppression of ADH. There is less production of ADH, which leads to increased urinary output. Because there is increased urinary output and the body is losing its fluids, so it can lead to dehydration. And obviously the management of dehydration is fluid replacement, which is primary management. And fluid replacement can be both oral or it can be IV if the dehydration is in severe condition. Okay, in extreme condition the replacement can be IV. But in SIADH, it is exactly opposite to the diabetes insipidus, and there is water intoxication. So we have to restrict the fluids. So fluid restriction is done. Okay, and because of water intoxication, there is hypervolemia inside the body, and there is decreased level of sodium inside the body. So in extreme conditions, we have to give extra sodium through IV route, that is 3% NaCl. Okay, that is hypertonic solution, hypertonic NaCl. So through IV route we will give NaCl, and NaCl, if it is hypertonic, it should not be given at a very fast rate. It is always given very slow via IV infusion. Remember that. It is very important to remember this, because what happens when we give hypertonic solution, it takes extra fluid out of the cells, and extra fluid is obviously it is accumulated inside the body cells through 3% NaCl. It takes out the extra fluid out of the cells, and it will balance the sodium and water level inside the cells. Okay, so that's the basic reason behind giving hypertonic solution. Okay, and in both conditions, in diabetes insipidus and SIADH, we have to measure daily weight. Okay, and strict intake and output measurement. Okay, and in both conditions we have to take the safety risk precautions, because the patient is in one condition, the patient is going into dehydration, he is at the risk of falls. Okay, and because of in imbalance sodium levels, it can lead to confusion, and because of confusion it can lead to risk of falls. Okay, so safety risk is very important in both the conditions. So it's a primary nursing responsibility to take daily weight, intake output, and safety precautions. And apart from that, because in diabetes insipidus, okay, the body is already losing too much of water, so we have to restrict the diuretics. No diuretics are given, and the foods which promote diuresis, okay, these are restricted. Okay, these are not given. For example, watermelon or caffeine, the foods which are rich in caffeine, for example tea, coffee. Okay, and energy drinks, and energy drinks also, they are rich in caffeine, so we have to restrict their intake. And apart from that, because we are giving the fluids to the patient externally, so we have to check for the sign and symptoms of fluid overload. For example, the signs can be crackles inside the lungs, so we have to check for that. And if the patient is going into difficulty breathing, okay, he has a breathing problem, or the the nurse is measuring that the patient is gaining weight. So be alert, the patient is going into fluid overload. So we have to keep an eye on these conditions. And there can be edema also, because if we are giving extra fluid to the patient, it can lead to edema. So keep an eye. And apart from that, if we're giving the fluids externally, the IV route, it can lead to water intoxication. Okay, in fluid overload there can be water intoxication, and in that condition, because extra water is retaining inside the body, it can lead to decreased sodium levels. Okay, so keep an eye. But in SIADH, because there is water intoxication inside the body, so we have to give diuretics. In that diabetes insipidus, we are restricting it, but in this condition we have to give it. And the diuretics which are preferred, these are loop diuretics, and the example of loop diuretic is Lasix. Okay, and if we are giving the Lasix, so we have to measure the intake and output. Okay, we have to measure the effectiveness of diuretics. Okay, so maintain strict intake and output, plus check the levels of potassium, because if the patient is losing water, he is urinating a lot, so he will lose potassium. So keep an eye on potassium levels. Okay, that's the primary responsibility of a nurse. And plus check for the levels of sodium. Okay, if we are giving external sodium, if for example hypertonic 3% NaCl, so we have to check for the increased levels of sodium also. So depending upon what we are giving and what the patient is going through, so we have to keep an eye. Moreover, in diabetes insipidus, there is suppression of ADH hormone, there is less production of ADH, so we have to give external ADH hormone. Okay, and the other name of ADH hormone, that is vasopressin, we all know, and the external vasopressin which we give, that is desmopressin. Okay, and it is given only in the extreme conditions when the body is having very less production of ADH hormone. And the route which is preferred for desmopressin, that can be oral, that can be IV, or that can be nasal also. So depending upon what the doctor is prescribing, so nurse has to look for that. Okay, so this is a basic management of diabetes insipidus and SIADH. Okay, which is important for a nurse to remember from exam point of view and from clinical point of view. Okay, so good luck for exam. Thank you.